Warning, this chapter of Distance Nerding was recorded live, which means there may be strong language unsuitable for children and unusual humor, which may be unsuitable for everyone who claims to be human. Parental discretion is advised.
Distance Nerding.
It's time for a party. What up, everybody? It is that time.
What to do?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is that time. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. You are now experiencing Distance Nerding. I am your boy, Yung Phil. Of course, he is the Jahmez 5000.
And we're here to nerd together.
Nailed
it. For the 280th time. Talking anything pop culture, news, movies, Comic-Cons, whatever you're nerding out on. We want to talk about it.
That's right. And if you're watching on YouTube, like you probably should be doing right now, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that really does help us out. Listen on any podcast app. Drop us a 5-star review. It really does help us out. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok. Get all the new Distance Nerding stuff as it comes out, because we're dropping videos like it is hotcakes at Distance Nerding on all the places. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to represent the way Jahmez is representing right now, you see that shirt right there? If you're just listening to the episode, you're not looking at that shirt. But you could get one of those shirts if you head over to our website, because we got merch, people. That's right. So you can go to our website. That's right. It's www.streamlabs.com/distance-nerding/merch and get you some of that sweet, sweet merch. Of course, link in the bio on IG, all that kind of stuff, and all the fun things. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this. You have now stumbled into the worst kept secret on all the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching the Distance Nerding podcast. And here we are, and here it is. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into On Deck. Jahmez, tell everybody what they're getting into this week.
DC is going to court. Winter is coming to Hogwarts. Say goodbye to an icon, and He-Man finally has the power! And so much more.
All right. And here we are. So before we jump into all of that, all the news that we've got to talk about tonight, Jahmez, who's bringing us the show? Who's representing that Distance Nerding?
Check out Colossus Girl Entertainment fan-focused Comic-Cons across the West Coast, including Beaver State Comic-Con, Metal Arc, Anna Medford, Tri-Cities Powerhouse, Silver Age Comic-Con, and of course, Gem State Comic-Con. Comics, cosplay, vendors, artists, and more. Visit Colossus Girl ENT. Plan your next Comic-Con.
There we go. Plan accordingly, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, let's jump into this, guys. Let's get into this first segment. It is time to talk all the fun Marvel stuff. Guys, it's time straight from J. Jonah.
Do. No. Still no music. We'll work on that. We'll talk to the interns about it. We'll figure it out.
The problem is that when I'm playing our stuff in high res, it will not play audio, mainly because the audio, if I put in the audio, it plays everything on my computer, so then you hear like triples and quadruples, and it's weird.
All I'm hearing is we have to fire some interns. In that case,
something like that.
Okay, let's get going.
All right.
Marvel is not quite done with Disney Plus. Marvel Studios may have kept its TV plans out of the spotlight at San Diego Comic-Con and D23, but apparently that doesn't mean Disney Plus is a side piece that MCU is not going to do. A new report claims several live action shows are currently in development, and we could start hearing about them very soon. This is kind of different. It's a rumor, but I like it because I like the Marvel on Disney Plus shows. According to Pucks, what I'm hearing, multiple live-action Marvel series are being developed for Disney Plus, and official announcements are expected in the near future. Marvel hasn't hinted or teased what those mystery projects are yet, but New York Comic Con actually is right around the corner in October. So Marvel, and this actually leads into that, Marvel Television and Marvel Animation will hold a panel at New York Comic October 8th.
Hey, Jahmez, your audio disappeared, man.
Where's my audio? Oh no.
You're back.
Am I there yet?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, sorry. Okay, where was it? So special guest for inside look at Marvel Television and Marvel Animation's most anticipated upcoming series on Disney Plus. Interesting how it was phrased, Marvel Television and Marvel Animation.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
Because
it's kind of
well,
hard
I was gonna say, let me get through this part because I was gonna say, like animation going and Daredevil. That's it. That's all. Unless they're doing like a specific Daredevil television piece, non-animated Marvel thing we have on Disney.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to call what's going on because the rumor is that Disney wants to get rid of all the live action stuff. It could just be that they're going to talk about the things that are still in development that are live action. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna announce like new things and stuff like that. As much as we want more live action, Disney's kind of seeming like they want to move away from that. Just because they're not making enough money on that whole thing, and that's the motivating factor, unfortunately, for all these things. So, still can't hear you, man. Oh, you're muted. There you go.
How about now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, so it's weird though because Quest coming in October, and then Daredevil coming probably March, but that's it. There's nothing else. So I was thinking about this. We might not have anything announced on purpose. What if this all have to wait and see what happens for everything else to roll out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting just because the position that Disney is in versus what it's interesting just because the position. And I'm interested in seeing what they're actually going to announce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, for now, Vision Quest debuts October 16th, and let's see, New York Comic Con is right before it, October 8th through the 11th of this year. All right, next one. Marvel is looking to phase into more casting. Kelly Spaney may have missed out on landing the Rogue role, but Marvel Studios is still talking to a star about playing another mutant. Fans have already been throwing Kitty Pryde's name around as an alternative role for Spaney, since Kitty isn't the only possibility. Magic would be another cool choice. The mutant Colossus has a much darker corner of the Marvel mythologies. Other, I should say, were Polaris that jumped out there. I don't think she's a Polaris though. And then Jubilee is another one that was thrown out there. So, kind of skewing towards the younger teenager type role. Neither character has been confirmed for the X-Men reboot and place in the Marvel's expanding mutant roster. So Marvel Studios' untitled X-Men movie is currently scheduled to hit theaters May 5th, 2028.
Yeah.
What do you think of Kaylee?
I think she's got a look to her that does feel Kitty Pryde. You know what I mean? Like, and I can see where a lot of people are going like Kitty Pryde on her. I wouldn't want to do Jubilee. I mean, Jubilee needs to stay Asian. We're gonna keep Jubilee Asian. Magic could be cool, but it just kind of depends on what they want to, like, what story they want to tell. You know what I mean?
I agree. Pryde. I think she could easily pull off Kitty Pryde. She doesn't quite have a Jubilee look.
No,
but I do want to see more magic. I think that's what do they do that in New Mutants or
They did a little bit of mutant magic and New Mutants, but I mean, she had a good role in X-Men 97. So I mean,
yeah, it'd be nice to bring in Kitty Pryde, though. I do like Kitty Pryde.
the other thing is with Polaris. I mean, Polaris had a pretty major role in X-Men 97. So I mean, given that they're giving her a little bit more space, I can see them trying to bring her in as a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do like that. We'll see. I hope we get more Marvel. They gave the date, May 5th, 2028. We're less than 2 years away, and we still don't know the full cast. So it'd be nice to see who else, not actually who else, but like what characters would get announced. Like, I know there's rumors of Beast, but we still haven't gotten confirmation yet. So I'd like to see what characters end up in the storyline, and that may dictate what storyline they may potentially adapt,
Right.
From the comics, and then we'll see who will be in the story.
Or even whether they actually adapt a comic storyline, or if they go the route of we're going to tell a new story, but it's written by comic writers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, Tom King is pretty prevalent in the Lantern series, and they're telling like a brand new story.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Let me move on here. Civil War Round 2. Insider James Mack claims that Chris Evans' Steve Rogers and Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes will team up against Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom during the final battle of Doomsday. The sequence will feature a 2-versus-1 fight reminiscent of the showdown in Captain America Civil War. As soon as I read this, I'm like, yes, give me that. That's what I want, is that Civil War, ending fight again, where it's Iron Man versus Winter Soldier and Captain America. I want that again.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That fight at the end of Civil War was so epic, so good, so much fun. I would love to see them kind of have that same kind of dynamic, but fighting Doctor Doom. It'd be so cool to see that. So,
but here's the catch. The stakes are raised, especially for Doomsday. And we're not fighting, hero versus hero anymore. We're fighting heroes versus potentially the biggest bad we've ever seen.
right.
What if Bucky doesn't make it out alive of that fight?
Oh, don't break my heart. And the way that they're telling this story, like it seems like at least like the overall Marvel story, it seems like they are going down a road where something is going to happen to Bucky. They've been featuring him so much more, but not featuring him in a way where it's like, he's super important in every story. It's kind of like he's the connective tissue. And
Yes.
I feel like if you kill Bucky, you set Cap off. You're gonna set Steve off.
And Yelena as well, because he's part of the new Avengers, and with Captain America, Sam Wilson. They're pseudo best friends. They're adjacent best friends. So maybe what brings the Avengers together, Steve Rogers but him going down is what says, okay, we got to bring everybody together and fight one enemy. This is crazy. So I don't know. I just thought about it. I'm like, yes, I want this fight, but also I don't want Bucky to die. So I don't know. We'll see.
I agree, man. It would be heartbreaking to see Buck die, but I mean, like, if they have to take Sergeant James Barnes down and it furthers the story, then I understand.
In this movie, oh my gosh, right? There's another one.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right. So Doomsday lands in theaters December 18th, 2026. All right, next one. Secret Wars. We're talking Secret Wars already? Secret Wars may be going rogue. Rogue may be jumping into the MCU sooner than we thought. Indy Navarrete. How do you say your name? Navarrete or Navarrete?
I thought it was Navarrete.
So it's one of those Spanish, Portuguese names where like it can go either way.
Yeah.
Like when I've met people with as their name, it's always Navarrete, not Navarrete. But anyway, so let's say Indy Navarrete is officially set to play Anne Marie or Anna Marie, better known as Marvel's fans as Rogue in Marvel Studios' upcoming X-Men movie. While that mutant reboot isn't hitting theaters until 2028, a new rumor claims we'll get our first look at Indy's Rogue a year earlier in Secret Wars. Interesting. So this is coming from Jeff Schneider, and he's reporting on the hot mic that Navarrete will make her first MCU appearance as Rogue in 2027's 2027 Secret Wars. Following the previous claims that Sadie Sink will also appear in Secret Wars as Jean Grey. This is like a great way to like just sprinkle tidbits of the X-Men into the other projects just to see, what people start grabbing onto. I think it's a smart move. Do you think we get Rogue?
I think we get Rogue. I think that we've been waiting for a more comic accurate version of Rogue forever because, okay, nothing against Anna Paquin, right? But the thing is that they never gave us a legit Rogue in those movies ever. You know what I mean? Ever. Like there was, it was always kind of like, okay, Rogue, but she doesn't have any of her powers. At least none of the powers that we know her to have, and part of that was because she never absorbed Miss Marvel, and it's kind of like, okay, well, she can't absorb Miss Marvel in the Fox universe because Miss Marvel was owned by Marvel, and it was just, there was so much going on, but like, we never got the version of Rogue that we wanted. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. Everything that makes Rogue interesting, especially with the whole Mystique and Nightcrawler and that whole weird family tree that they have, none of that was explored, and that's part of the reason why I love X-Men 97 so much. Is you get that like family bond, like almost like found family, but it's real family.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's exactly why we love X-Men, is because of the whole found family aspect of it, and I mean, exactly. I want more of that. So I mean, like I would love to see Indy Navarrete in an upcoming project, whether it is Secret Wars or not. And I really think Secret Wars is probably the smartest place to drop her in.
Yeah. And that could be a trend. They could be like, hey, this works so well with Sadie Sink and Jean Grey, showing up in Spider-Man. What if we just keep going around that same role and just, little bits of Easter egg of these other characters teased in movies before we get to the actual big X-Men movie? I think that's a great way to handle this. So if Secret Wars rumor is true, Marvel won't be making audiences wait until 2028. New generation of X-Men is here, and they may be coming as close as 2027 in Secret Wars. All right.
Bring it on. Let's go. It's time.
We're talking like nonstop, like future stuff. So D23 is turning into D2028. Disney has revealed a release date for Marvel's Ghost Rider starring Ryan Gosling, and it will be the summer blockbuster. So it'll be set July 28th, 2028, right in the middle of the summer, right? So that's like the big tentpole. But after that will be Black Panther 3 in December of 2028. And then the X-Men movie will be right before that, May of 2028. So huge movies in 2028.
Yeah, and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that Disney is dropping. Tell the audience about everything else that's dropping with.
Yeah, so well. Yeah, again, we were talking about 2028, and it's like the big ramp up for Disney to get everything into 2028. So additionally, Pixar's Ghost Market, which I think all of us are kind of looking forward to, will be released in March of 2028. The live action Tangled, which we're starting to see clips from, will be released also in March, end of March of 2028, and the animated movie Clay is set for November of 2028. So that's 6 big movies.
Yeah. Speaking of Tangled, did you see the intro at D23 of them in character joking about how they're on set, but then like doing kind of like in character jokes?
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Oh,
I just went straight for the news. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, check that out. So like when they introduced Tangled, they were like, yeah, so we're on set right now, and it was them in costume making jokes in character, but it was obviously not something that was filmed as a part of the film. It was them addressing the audience at D23, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I like that. Kind of reminds me of what we were talking about last week with Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
Being announced as Mr. Sinister, and how he was with that. So that's fun.
Yeah, Disney running that kind of stuff, and it's always fun when they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. So again, this was X-Men in May of 2028, and then Ghost Rider July of 2028, Black Panther December of 2028. Huge for Marvel.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big year. 2028 seems, but I mean, it kind of feels like that every year with Disney. Disney always feels like they're gonna be putting out big things, and then, again, they kind of drop the ball on the marketing. So like they'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna announce everything," and then they just like kind of don't market things that they feel like, this is probably not gonna do well. We're not gonna waste money on it. Elio, we're looking at you. I'm going to always bring that up because it was just kind of like, they made this big deal about the movie when they first announced it. Then we heard nothing ever. Movie came out. Nobody knew.
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
It just got shoved under the rug.
They're just like, we're going to put it out there. Meanwhile, they're like shelving projects that people want. So,
yeah. So Marvel, I was just looking it up, in 2027, there's only 2 projects coming out. One is Secret Wars. We talked about that. But the only other one is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which isn't technically, a Disney Marvel movie. It's a Sony movie.
Sony movie, right? Interesting. I wonder if, again, going back to a story we talked about before, I wonder if they're going to focus more on TV shows in 2027. And just try and get rid of all the lingering live action shows that they have, and then they'll focus on movies in 2020.
That's the craziest thing. All we have is Daredevil. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's been announced.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, so like, what if we get, like, I don't know, what if we get something? What if you get a special presentation? In October,
could be,
right? And they do something that like introduces Midnight Suns, because they've been talking about doing Midnight Suns for a while.
That'd be pretty good, especially since Ghost Rider will be coming out less than a year later.
Right. We know Ghost Rider's coming. This could be a good introduction for Ghost Rider. This could be a way that they, again, bring back the characters from the last special presentation that they had, and then finally give us fucking Mahershala Ali as Blade. We're all waiting for this. Mahershala Ali was waiting on this, and he left because he was tired of just waiting on all this shit. So like, I wonder if like this will be like their chance to say, okay, here's our makeup, and we're gonna give you guys what you've been asking for. We're gonna give you Mahershala Ali as Blade, finally in a project.
I bet Wesley Snipes is free.
I'm pretty sure Wesley Snipes is free.
All right, that was my last Marvel one.
All right, for sure, man. So let's jump into the next segment here. It's time to talk DC, ladies and gentlemen. Time to watch the Watchtower. It's watching the Watchtower. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. I should add post-production sound effects like I used to.
There you go. See?
There we go. Just another day in the life of the Justice Gang. And you guys are not ready for it. None of us are. Guy Gardner is heading back to the big screen in Man of Tomorrow, but Nathan Fillion won't look exactly the same when he slips on the Green Lantern ring again. The actor has confirmed that Guy is getting an upgrade for James Gunn's Superman sequel. And yes, it involves that wonderfully ridiculous haircut. According to Fillion, we updated the hairdo just a little bit. He probably looks a little bit less like a dick. Guy Gardner also won't be the only Green Lantern joining the action. Lantern star Aaron Pierre will bring Jon Stewart into the movie. Man of Tomorrow flies into theaters July 9th of 2027. What do you think they're doing with Guy Gardner, man?
It's funny that we have an article about his hair. I think it's going to be something little. It's going to be like the bangs, but just like a little bit shorter. He's like, oh, we took like a quarter of an inch off his bangs.
Oh man, it's funny, and we're gonna get into this in the next segment, but like he looks like a terrible version of Mike Guy when he grows up.
Yeah.
Right? Just the worst bowl cut. You know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna part the bangs. And then
there you go.
And then he's just gonna look like a fucking psychopath.
What if it's like the really short bangs? Oh my gosh. You know those really short bangs that some girls wear where it's like an inch or 2 inches, just ugh.
Ugh.
I don't like it.
Yeah, he's gonna have like the short bangs with the still have the bowl. Oh god, it's gonna look so bad if they do that. I hope they give him like a more presentable haircut.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Like there's a way to take that hair and still make him look like somewhat decent.
Yeah, if they shave it.
Yeah, they need to give him some Vidal Sassoon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Didn't he was always like a bowl cut guy, right? He never went like mohawk. Did he go mohawk?
No, he had a bowl cut all through the comics. But I mean, like, there's other ways where you can give him a decent haircut. Like there was one point where they gave him like a pompadour. But he's also a redhead, so he just had like the poofy hair in the front. Like I'm wondering if they give him that.
Gotcha.
And like that on Nathan Fillion would still look funny.
What if he gets like a bad short haircut, like short bangs, like we just talked about, but he's just using his ring power to make it like longer and try to look better, but it still looks awful.
Oh my god! What if he is wearing like a legitimate Eagles hat the entire time just because it's green and it's a construct? He just wears a hat and is like, "Yeah, I got a bad haircut."
Yeah, that's what he's using his power for the whole time, just like keeping his hat on.
Well, like because not to throw spoilers out there for people who haven't watched Lanterns, but you can keep a construct for a long period of time even without the ring.
Yeah, it depends on who you are.
I mean, it's not just Jon Stewart, and that's the thing is that, they're making it seem like it's like a big deal. I mean, again, that's more something that would be a Kyle Rayner thing, that he is like, he's got these crazy. He's really good with his powers and whatnot, and that's actually something Kyle Rayner has been known to do is be able to create constructs without a ring. This was more he created a construct. He didn't have the ring, but through willpower he kept it alive. So, anyways, with that, it's he makes a construct for a hat, but never takes it off.
That's good,
right?
His ring just drains of power because he's pulling his hat off.
Oh my god! At least Guy tends to charge his ring more than Hal does.
Oh my god, Hal! He's like my son and his iPhone that he never charges, so I just get all these notifications like, oh, so is at 5%. iPhone so and so is at 4%. I'm like, good lord, charge your phone.
Charge your phone, kid.
Charge it.
All right, we can clip this and send it to Chemo. It's like, charge your phone. Keep it charged, Chemo.
Charge it.
Charge it. All right, let's move on to the next story. Otherwise, we're just going to keep talking about this. Order in the court. That's the closest thing I have. Order in the court. I'll take a banana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, take just banana deliciousness. Gorilla Grodd is going to court, and Jimmy Olsen is digging into the case. DC Studios is expanding its DCU in a wonderfully weird direction with The People versus Gorilla Grodd, a new mockumentary comedy that takes the super intelligent Flash villain and drops him into a true crime murder investigation. HBO Max has handed the half-hour Max original in 8 episodes straight to series order. Previously developed under the title DC Crime, the series stars Skylar Gisondo, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Yep.
All right, as Jimmy Olsen, who turns investigative documentarian to examine one of Metropolis's most notorious murder cases. The story unfolds as an 8-part true crime documentary created within the DCU. Several familiar faces from Superman will join Gisondo in the series. Beck Bennett returns as Steve Lombard. Michaela Hoover, friend of the show, Michaela Hoover, is back as Cat Grant. And Wendell Pierce once again plays Daily Planet editor Perry White. Rather than making a traditional DC comedy that happens to use a documentary format, they want the people versus Gorilla Grodd to feel like something that was actually produced and released inside the DCU. Showrunners Tony Yacinda and Dan Perrault explained, "We're excited by the challenge of creating a series that feels less like an entry into the DCU and more like an artifact from it. A Daily Planet original documentary made for the people of Metropolis. The People vs. Gorilla Grodd doesn't have an official HBO Max premiere date yet, though a 2028 launch currently looks likely." What do you think about this, man? How do you feel about us getting a People versus Gorilla Grodd?
I love it. I think that's a interesting take. The point of view that they're taking of this is a piece that the Daily Planet is making. Like, it's Jimmy creating a piece, like part of his job for the Daily Planet. I love this. I think it's a great idea, and it kind of opens up the door to do so much and show all kinds of like behind the scenes stuff that are happening within the DCU without having it to be like, oh, this strict storyline of this has got to happen, this has got to happen. And,
Right.
It'll just be like this fun adventure that Jimmy goes on.
Yeah, and again, I like that it's a documentary. I like that it's something that lives in universe, but at the same time, like I want it to be like a straight up, like for real documentary, because that would make it so much more interesting to watch. Like almost like, oh, it's a documentary, but it's like in a fictional universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It'll look like that. It'll look like that Netflix style documentary.
yeah.
People coming in, sitting down, putting the mic on, that sort of thing, and getting into it. Yep. I wasn't interested in this very much before. We're getting a little bit of info, and they're kind of giving us. Now I want to see what they're going to do with this.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be fun. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this. Okay, so let's move on to this last DC story that we have here. In brightest day, in blackest night. If you haven't watched Lanterns yet, some spoilers might not escape your sight. You've been warned. You have been warned. If you haven't watched the series premiere of Lanterns, major spoilers are about to follow. The premiere, titled Pilot, closes with a pretty brutal reveal as Jon Stewart and Sheriff Kerry Kane discover Hal's... I gave you guys the warning. Discover Hal's frozen body in the 2026 timeline. It certainly looks like the end of the legendary Green Lanterns, but the new Weeks Ahead trailer may have slipped in a clue that changes everything. Certainly looks like the end of a legendary Green Lantern, but the new... Wait a minute. You repeated that. All right. One theory points to a blurry but potentially important moment in the Weeks Ahead footage involving the alien body Hal steals from the morgue. The corpse appears to have a head wound in nearly the same location as the injury seen on Hal's body at the end of episode 1. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Okay, I see that now. A fan also noticed another possible connection involving the skull that Jon Stewart later picks up. The body Hal drags out of the morgue has a wound on its forehead exactly where Hal's wound is at the end of the first episode. They wrote, and the skull Jon picks up also has what looks to be a healed wound in a similar area. Lends me to suspect Hal's still alive, and there are all aliens being murdered. So, did Hal fake his death? Lindelof knows some fans aren't going to be thrilled about apparently killing Hal Jordan right off the gate, but he suggested viewers should wait until the entire 8-episode season plays out before judging their decision. Lanterns maybe not all of them, but they're airing on HBO Max every Sunday.
When I first watched episode 1 and they have that reveal at the end, I'm like, no way this just happened. No way. Especially because I think Kyle Chandler's doing such a good job at playing this kind of tormented version of Hal Jordan. And then I was thinking, okay, wait a second. They're doing the whole double timeline thing or dual timeline. So we're still getting Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. I get it.
Right.
So maybe he is really dead. But then, no ring. The wound is in the same spot as all the other aliens. I'm like, what if Hal's still alive and they either faked his death or something like that? Like, where's Hal Jordan?
Right. Here's the thing with that too is, again, spoilers if you guys haven't watched episode 2. Manhunters, right? And the Manhunters have the ability to change their appearance, right? Now, given what the way they're playing it is as if there's only one Manhunter, right? And
Right.
there is another alien race, which again, we'll start with Antan. He talks about how they can change their appearance as well to look like humans. So I wonder if Hal figures out how to change their appearance and how to trigger to change the appearance, and just like as an experiment makes it look like him and just leaves it there on the bench. And it's like, oh shit, I can do this. Leaves it on the bench and continues doing what he's doing, right? Again, I think there's so many more stories that you need Hal Jordan for that we want to see. Hal Jordan, one of his biggest turns in the comics is he becomes Parallax. And I've been talking in our group chat about how, they're really building up for Parallax. Like we are seeing the yellow in the ring. We are seeing, again, this is at some point beyond, and so again, spoilers for episode 2, Sinestro is in an Owen jail, which means that he has had battles with Sinestro in the past. He's also asking Sinestro for like advice on things that are happening. So it's kind of like, there's so much that is going on. And I've been saying I think they're going to get into the spectrum a little bit more. I think Antan is Atrocitus in disguise. And I would love to see him be a Red Lantern, because the little dude is angry. That dude, he's a little, him's a little guy, right? He was angry. I would love to see him as Atrocitus. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I think we only a couple minutes of the 2026 timeline, of John and what's her name, Sheriff Carrie Kane.
Right.
So we don't know what's happening with the ring. Off said that Guy Gardner has the ring, has Hal's ring, as long as he had it. We don't know. What if Hal is off world? We don't know. Has Hal been missing for a while? We'll have to figure all this out. Like, that's part of the mystery.
It's going to be an interesting take, and I can't wait for it. So for those of you out there, if you haven't started watching Lanterns, watch it. New episodes every Sunday. We're getting a new one this Sunday, and I for one can't wait to see what it's going to be. Even though I'm probably going to end up watching it late because we're going to be at Power Morphicon. So
watch it on the way home.
Yeah, because I can do that while I'm driving.
Make somebody else drive. It's fine. All right. Was that our last DC?
That was our last DC story. So let's get into the next sponsor here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you by the good folks over at Debbie. That's right. Debbie's a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Debbie contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about Debbie at www.debbie.gg. Use the code NERDING10 and get 10% off your order. Whew, so many delicious things, so much going on, and I'm always excited about it. It gives me so much life. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the next set of stories here. It's time for the download. Let's get into all the news, starting with one-shots.
For more news, trailers, reactions, check out the Distance Nerdington post on Facebook and let us know what you're nerding out on. All right. The live-action Naruto movie has found its Kakashi. Charles Melton is reportedly in close talks to take the fan favorite ninja in director Destin Daniel Cretton's upcoming live-action adaptation of Naruto. Comes together, Melton would step into the role of one of the manga and anime franchise's most recognizable characters.
One of my favorite characters, like easily my favorite character in the entire franchise.
So Melton has been building an impressive resume over the past few years. He recently earned an Emmy nomination for Netflix's Beef Season 2. I haven't watched that one yet. I want to watch that one. It's when the Oscar Isaacs is in it. His potential involvement follows recent speculation that he might be announced as part of the X-Men cast, which didn't come to play. So that's interesting.
I read a story about this, and I'll talk about it after you finish here.
Okay. The story centers on Naruto, a young ninja determined to earn the respect of his community and eventually become Hokage, the leader and protector of his village. Hokage. The Naruto movie is currently conducting a global casting search for the actors who will play Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. I thought that's kind of cool.
Sasuke and Sakura.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a story that came out, and it was, basically he talks about it. He was so excited. He basically all but confirms that he was going to play Beast. And he was just like super excited, and he was like, yeah, so I'm going to play Beast. There's nothing that will take me away from this. And then his agent goes, well, I've got this other script. But I mean, if you're gonna play, if you know you're gonna play Beast, might as well not show it to you. He goes, well, what is it? And he goes, I mean, you don't even really want to look at it. It's not that big of a deal. Gives him the script, and he goes, they want me to play Kakashi, right? And he goes, well, yeah. He goes, they want me to play Kakashi. Like, Kakashi is like the most recognizable character in all of Naruto, right? And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, I'm gonna turn down Beast so he could play Kakashi. Which again, big deal. Kakashi is one of the biggest characters in all of Naruto. Again, he's not the protagonist, but he's a massive supporting character. Anytime you see Naruto and you see the ninja that only has that has the mask and only half his face is showing, that's Kakashi. Right. Kakashi Hatake is like one of the best characters in all of Naruto. He's like calm, reserved, but he's like a super badass. He's like the epitome of a ninja. Because remember, they're all ninjas. And Kakashi becomes the Hokage. He becomes the mentor to Naruto when he becomes Hokage. It's a big deal to get that role in the first place.
That's awesome. And he probably reckoned Beast in X-Men. Yeah, that's a good amount of fame. But he's probably going to be lower on the totem pole than if he's, Kakashi in Naruto. So might as well just go with Naruto.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, I didn't even. Destin Daniel Cretton
is going to be directing. Right. Yeah. Cannot wait for it, man. I mean, I'm always skeptical about adaptations for anime, but I mean, like, I don't know. Destin Daniel Cretton is really good with martial arts. He's really good with story. He's really good with adaptations. I mean, look what he did with Spider-Man. It's about to be one of the biggest movies of all time. Shang-Chi was underrated as all hell, but it was a great movie. I cannot wait to see what he does with Naruto, especially considering that he's said in the past that he is a big Naruto fan.
Oh, that's even more evidence that that's awesome.
Right.
All right, next one. Winter is coming to Hogwarts. Just weeks after Nicholas Hoult was revealed as the actor set to play Gilderoy Lockhart in Harry Potter Season 2, the Superman star has been forced to leave the role because of scheduling conflicts. There you go, Lex. HBO already has his replacement, Kit Harington, will now play the ridiculously vain defense against the arts or dark arts professor. Most viewers know Harington as Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, but in a fun connection, Harington has already played Lockhart.
Yep.
Like, what? I didn't even realize this. Harington previously voiced the character in Harry Potter, the full cast audio editions, specifically the adaptation of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for Audible. Shout out to Audible. So, obviously, yeah, there you go. Boom. Perfect casting.
Yeah, I actually went and not listened to the entire book, but somebody posted excerpts of him as Gilderoy Lockhart. It actually is really good. So he can just take that version of the way that he played the character and apply that to the show. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. I do like it. So our television series will premiere on December 25th, 2026. That's crazy. On Christmas Day. All right.
On Christmas Day.
Okay. James Bond meets Thor. Chris Hemsworth is returning for Extraction 3 on Netflix, even though he died in the first one. And 5 new
They
cast
brought him
members.
back in the second one. I mean, they explained it.
Did they? And 5 new cast. Somehow Thor has returned. And they brought 5 new cast members to join him. They include Golden Globe nominee Pierce Brosnan, Don Lee from Train to Busan, Joe from The Furious, Chi Lewis Perry from 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and Sienna Agudong, Amazon's upcoming Carrie series. There you go. A little bit of Filipino in there. I like it. The film is currently filming in Australia, but also co-starring with Hemsworth. After directing the first 2 installments, Sam Hargrave is back as director based on the story by Andy Parks and Joe Russo and Anthony Russo. Pretty cool. Extraction 3 is targeting a 2027 release on Netflix.
I didn't realize the Russos, had anything to do with Extraction. I thought that was just a Hemsworth thing.
I think it's their production company, the Agbo.
I was going to say it makes sense because there is really good pacing in the action with Extraction. I really love the first one because I was not expecting like Indian special forces to like show up in a movie, and it's just like, dude, these dudes are badass, man.
Yeah. That bridge scene. Oh my god, so good.
Yeah. Oh my god, like he again. It's almost like, how do you survive that, man? Like he took so many rounds, it was nuts.
It's so good. How did he live out of the first? I don't know. Anyway, okay. He's Thor. That's fine.
It's because he's Thor.
It's all right. Next one. He-Man may have lost the box office, but he's absolutely. Hold on. He-Man may have lost the box office battle, but he's absolutely crushing it from the comfort of eternity. There it is. After struggling during his theatrical run, Masters of the Universe has found a much bigger audience on streaming. Pretty cool. So let's see. Becoming the most watched movie or TV series across streaming services in Nielsen's rankings from July 20th through the 26th, ranking up an impressive 1.17 billion minutes viewed on Prime Video.
Wait. Question here. Yeah. Nielsen still exists?
Nielsen still exists. They're doing something.
Apparently.
Yeah. But 1.17 billion minutes viewed on Prime Video. That is nuts. So let's do some Hollywood math. With a runtime of 140 minutes, that includes credits, by the way, those 1.17 billion minutes works out to approximately 8.4 million viewings of the movie. Whew. And for perspective, 8.4 million theatrical views at $15 a ticket would amount to roughly $125 million in ticket sales. That is nuts.
That is crazy. But here's the thing. Amazon has, like, I guess it hasn't officially said this, but there was people like insiders saying that Amazon's entire objective was they kind of knew, okay, it's not going to do well in theaters, then it's going to find life on streaming. And if it does well on streaming, that is our justification to do a sequel. It is killing it. And I'm not gonna lie. I have watched it 3 times since it's been out on. And here's the thing: is each time I'm finding new things that I missed the last time, and it makes me love this movie that much more. I do not feel like it got its just due. Same thing with Supergirl. I don't think Supergirl got its just due. Like a lot of people were, again, you have all the haters online that are just like, oh yeah, it didn't do well, so that means that it's our justification to say we got to get rid of this, and this was the worst Masters of the Universe. And it's like, in what world? This Masters of the Universe was perfect. It was literally everything that I wanted in a He-Man movie. You know,
what's nice? I was gonna say He-Man, He-Man has the ability and the lore to like tell their own story or readaptation of the story, and everybody's okay with it. Versus, DC telling an introduction for Superwoman of Tomorrow. There's a lot to hold on to there, and they didn't quite hold on to the essence work, and that's it almost like failed on so many different fronts because it wasn't completely true to the story arc. It wasn't set as like a movie for the 25-year-old males, but it definitely wasn't a movie for like young or teenage girls, so it didn't quite have a home. You know what I mean? Whereas like He-Man could be like, all right, give me a new origin story, I'm open for it. He goes to Earth, okay, great.
Yeah, I mean, like, the story was so well done, and again, you have all these people that are hating, and for the most part, the people that were hating on He-Man were like all they went woke and like, they're doing that whole thing. The 2 biggest complaints that I've heard from people online were the quote unquote woke things where he has the him and he works in HR and all that, and they hated that about his character. But it's like, no, that added to his character. It really did just add to what he was doing. It also made him, they did a really good job of taking a character that a lot of people associate with toxic masculinity and making him a true masculine icon in a way where he is not masculine in a way where it's degrading to others.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's more about him bigging everybody else up while at the same time, elevating the character itself, and elevating himself. The other big thing that people complained about was, the names of the characters. And this is such a small gripe, but like, oh yeah, they were, instead of them being the actual names of people, they were the names he made up for people. And it's like, yeah, but that adds again to the story because it's a kid who didn't remember the names of people, but remembered these people in his mind and had to make up names for them to remember them by, and even gave himself a name. And they're like, oh, well, we're so upset because he the whole thing was he called himself He-Man, and there was a joke about it. It was like, who in their right mind calls themselves He-Man? Right? The idea is he is the champion of Grayskull, but he calls himself He-Man.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, Fisto is a lot more memorable than Gary. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I love that.
I'm never forgetting at Fisto.
Right. I love that they also never tell you their names.
Yeah.
It's all Adam. What's my name? I don't remember. I used to call you Ram Man. Like that. I like that. I like that. It's like, and then they make fun of each other with it. Ram Man, like, hey, he calls you Fisto. Like them just like making fun of the names, but you never learn what their names actually are. And it's like they have real names. Why? Because Man at Arms, right, is named Duncan, and you call him Duncan. right? Adam is his actual name, right? Like I like the idea of shit. I don't remember your name. I'm just gonna Mechanic.
Yeah. I think that's funny.
Yeah,
I think it's a good way to like explain off the craziness, but also like pay homage to the craziness of, the 80s, toys.
right.
So anyway, I think that's great.
Matt in the chat right now saying, I thought that was an awesome change. It makes total sense. Also, and he's saying the same thing I'm saying, stop complaining about people named Beastman and Spike War. Good Lord.
So funny. So back to what I was going to get at. So you think they're going to make a Masters of the Universe 2?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And again, this is the opportunity to kind of take the different versions of Skeletor and merge them together. I want to see the treatment for Skeletor that they did with Wonder Woman, where they took two origin stories and found a way to merge them together in a way that made a lot of sense. I want to see them do that with Skeletor. I want to see them take the original origin story from the original cartoon, take the origin story that they remade for the new cartoon, which was it added a lot of depth to him and gave him motivation, rather than just being like a pure evil. Which I mean, again, Jared Leto, easily best performance of Jared Leto's career.
Of his career? Wow.
So I'm sorry. I'll take that back. Second best performance of his entire career. Dallas Buyers Club was really fucking good. But I mean, like,
Right.
the other roles that he has played have been kind of like, he is overacting in a movie that doesn't require it. It's like the one time him being an overactor was perfect.
I mean, it's no Morbius, but that's fine.
Fucking Morbius. No, we're not talking Morbius. We're talking Skeletor because he was perfect as Skeletor. Again, I had my issues, but then watching him play Skeletor, he was hands down perfect for that role.
Right. So I was going to say, I think it doing so well, it's going to spark a Motu 2,
Yes.
right? That being said, I don't know if it's going to go to theaters or it should go straight to Amazon Prime Video.
No, I think second try they should put it in theaters, because I think the first try a lot of people didn't give it a chance because so many haters online were like, oh, it's bad because of this, it's bad because of that. But then everybody, like, if you look at a lot of reactions online, it's a lot of people going to go watch it on Amazon and saying, oh man, shit, I should have saw this in theaters. This is actually really good. So I think if they go for Motu 2 and put it in theaters, I think more people will come out to go see it, because after seeing how good the first one is, they're like, okay, now I'm going to give the second one a chance.
Yeah. First time, but I watched it. And I think it would be much better to keep it as the short form, the movie version, versus turning it into a series on Amazon Prime, because I think the jokes and the timing works so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it works well that way.
All right. Masters of the Universe is now on Amazon Prime. There you go. Speaking of Amazon has found their new God of War. Dave Bautista is picking up the Leviathan Axe. The former WWE star and Guardians of the Galaxy actor has officially closed his deal to play Kratos in Prime Video's live-action God of War series, taking over from Ryan Hurst after a serious injury forced the production to make a major change. Prep on the new version begins this month, with filming scheduled to restart in Vancouver in mid-October. Initial thoughts, Bautista.
I like Dave Bautista. I think Dave Bautista is, yeah, I know, right? I think Dave Bautista is he's a really good dramatic actor. He's done really well, even though he's been kind of pigeonholed into these characters of like larger guys. But like, what I really like about him in general is like take Knives Out, right? Specifically Glass Onion, right? When his character in Glass Onion had a lot of depth for being a dude that was just a big guy. You know what I mean? And it's like same thing where like take his character in God, the cyberpunk movie
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
Right. Take his character in Blade Runner, and again, another character that was really well done. That even again, very short period, like very short moment in time. He had a small role in the movie, but he had a lot of impact in the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dave Bautista is really good with dramatic roles. This character needs to have a balance of action and drama. Right. I felt like Hurst was perfect for it because he's one of those guys that has a flair for really dramatic roles and is really good in those dramatic roles. I thought he would have done really well as Kratos. And I mean, dude, he looked ripped as all hell for Kratos. But, things happen. Get well soon, man. It sucks. Tearing your bicep is not a good thing.
Speaking of ripped, yeah. He ripped his bicep.
But Dave Bautista coming in, I mean, I think that's a good. I think he's a good replacement for Ryan Hurst.
It's interesting because Dave Bautista started to go down this path of like serious acting, and he talked about slimming down, not carrying so much like muscle mass to take on different roles. So it's kind of interesting that he's kind of slimming back down, but now he's got to bulk back up for Kratos.
Well, he bulked up for the Kurgan.
Yes.
So
so it's almost like just timing.
Right. He is because he dropped a bunch of weight so he could get more roles, and then he bulked up to play the Kurgan, and then now he's just off of Highlander and is like already ripped, and they're just like, yeah, no, we need you to stay ripped like that because you're gonna play Kratos. So
yeah,
I think it's like it is like it's serendipitous. It's like perfect timing for him to play Kratos at this moment.
Yeah. So, fun fact, God of War will be Bautista's only second series regular television role following season Apple TV C. It also continues his relationship with Amazon MGM Studios after he starred alongside Jason Momoa in The Wrecking Crew this past year. He'll also appear opposite Jake Gyllenhaal in the upcoming Roadhouse 2 film, which I think is also being produced by Amazon. So he's got some Amazon love. So Amazon has not announced an official release date yet for its live action God of War series.
It's funny how he tried to drop a bunch of weight to get different roles.
Right.
But the roles he got are still kind of characters that still kind of need to be big.
Yeah. Even in Knives Out, it's like, oh, you're going to be wearing like your underwear. That's it.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think he's finding a balance. He's finding a balance of roles where he gets to do a lot of like fun acting, but at the same time, he's still kind of like, big, giant, meaty, Filipino god guy. So,
Well, even in that holiday special, he put on like a shirt because he's like, I don't want to get super ripped.
Yeah.
So they're like, he had to wear a shirt for the show. So
the sweater, the Christmas sweater he was wearing.
Exactly. All right, you got the next one?
Are we already at the end of the segment?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's before we jump into that, we've got one last sponsor plug here, ladies and gentlemen. James, tell them about our last sponsor here.
Distance Nerding is part of the Geek Freaks Network. Discovering your latest binge, debating casting choices, or still not over that plot twist, the Geek Freaks Network has got you covered. Your fandom, your community, your people, geek out your way. Check out Geek Freaks Network at gfpods.com.
Shut up and take my money.
All right. Well, let's jump into the last segment here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to talk about the headlines. Oh, and we're starting off with the doozy because this just happened today, and it's a big deal. So not breaking at this point, but still a Rhinestone Life that shone bright enough for the world to see. Give me 1 second. Moment of silence, but also changing the top. All right. Dolly Parton, the legendary singer, songwriter, actress, producer, philanthropist, and all-around entertainment icon, died today in Nashville at the age of 80. Her death brings an extraordinary 7-decade career to a close, but trying to fit Parton's life into a list of accomplishments almost feels impossible. She was simply too big a personality and too creative a force just to kind of try and fit her into one place. Parton's family remembered her with a beautiful statement, a rhinestone life that shone bright enough for the world to see. Dolly will forever stand as an inspiration not only through her timeless music and prolific songwriting, but also her wit, warmth, and kindness that made us all feel like family. Dolly Parton's legacy is one of love, compassion, and resilience. With a 7-decade career, she inspired multiple generations of artists and fans with her music with an unwavering commitment to making the world a better place, which she absolutely did. Her songs will continue to resonate with people of all ages, and her philanthropic work will have a lasting impact. Parton's musical legacy was unrivaled. She released Jolene in 1973, kicking off 4 consecutive #1 country hits. More than 50 years after Parton recorded Jolene, Beyoncé reimagined the song for her 2024 album Cowboy Carter, which went on to win the Grammy for Album of the Year. She followed it with I Will Always Love You, a song that took on an entirely new life decades later when Whitney Houston recorded it for the 1992 blockbuster The Bodyguard. Houston's version became one of the biggest singles in music history. Parton also proved to be an incredibly savvy businesswoman. In the mid-1980s, she opened Dollywood in Tennessee's Smoky Mountains. The theme park grew into a major tourist destination, welcoming millions of visitors each year while keeping a strong connection to the region where she grew up. In 1988, she founded the Dollywood Foundation, initially helping East Tennessee students stay in school through scholarships. Dolly Parton's imagination library became one of her most meaningful projects, providing books to children and turning her success into something that directly benefited families. Her philanthropy also extended into disaster relief, healthcare, and medical research. Parton was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Country Music Hall of Fame, and Songwriters Hall of Fame. Her honors include a Kennedy Center Award, 11 Grammy Awards from 54 nominations. 54 nominations. That is ridiculous.
Nuts.
A Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, 10 Country Music Association Awards, and 5 Academy of Country Music Awards. In 2024, Billboard named her the #1 country music artist of all time.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. We say all of these accomplishments because she touched so many lives with her music, with her philanthropy, with everything that she did. She's famously somebody who was apolitical, who, did not want to, and I loved her stance on this was no matter what, anytime anybody tried to get her opinion on something, she said, I don't talk politics. And I always felt like that was something that was admirable because there were certain things that you could tell she wanted to say something about, but she was like, I'm not going to say anything. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And I respect her. I respect her. There is no respected. I respect her.
Yeah,
for
totally.
Not only all of her accomplishments and all of her music and everything that she did, but also everything she did behind the scenes.
Yeah. We didn't even touch on her acting career.
Oh, yeah.
In this, but she also had an amazing acting career. But on top of that,
working 9 to 5.
She also producer. She created Sand Productions, and Sand is the company responsible for Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie and TV show.
Right.
So she helped, and she was part of the push behind it. Like, hey, we need a female-led movie, and then later on a TV show, and it was her that pushed for Buffy's story to be told.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and again, she pushed a lot for women's empowerment, and I mean, again, it was amazing. You know, like just everything that she was able to do, despite kind of like, you know, the way that a lot of people, like, if you didn't know or for behind the scenes stuff, you know, despite the image that some people would immediately take looking at her, because there's a lot of caricatures and things of Dolly Parton, but I mean, like, you look at who she was as a person, and she was somebody absolutely worthy of admiration in every aspect of everything she did.
Totally. So sad.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Dolly. Thank you for the songs. Thank you for the movies. Thank you for the laughs, the generosity, and the inspiration. You will never be forgotten. We will always continue to sing the praises of Dolly Parton. I don't want to be too sad here. So we're going to move on into the next story here. Otherwise, I will get really sad. Goodwill Power Rangers? Yeah, Sandra, in the chat, I know you're going to be excited about this one. Power Rangers, but still. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Scheinert? Is that how you say Scheinert? Yeah. AKA the Daniels are making a secret sci-fi superhero movie with Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Especially after the Odyssey, seeing how ripped he was in the Odyssey, this makes a lot of sense. Power Rangers fans are definitely going to recognize some familiar ingredients on the heels of Disney Plus scrapping its planned Power Rangers series. I'm never going to be not angry about. Jeff Schneider reports that the untitled Daniels movie at Universal may draw some serious inspiration from the color-coded heroes and their monster-smashing adventures. It isn't actually Power Rangers. It's not a Power Rangers movie. But based on the reported story, these comparisons are going to be it's going to be pretty hard to avoid. Schneider shared the following description of the product. From what I hear, it's basically a Power Rangers movie without the name. It follows a young cast in color-coded costumes who team up to fight kaiju with the help of a superhero-esque character played by Matt Damon, who has a Jarvis-like AI assistant played, not just voiced, by Sandra Oh. Oh, God. That's going to be absolutely amazing. The wholly original movie has no official connection to Power Rangers, but I'm told it's a pretty clear influence and that comparisons will definitely be made. The story reportedly takes place across two different timelines, jumping between the 1980s and the present day. The 80s portion will center on 5 young heroes. Damon has already offered his own description of the movie's tone, saying the pitch was The Breakfast Club meets Inception, meets an anime film, meets an episode of the John Oliver show that didn't get aired. Oh my God.
What?
The John Oliver show? That just seems nuts as a premise to me.
I know, right?
Just so you guys know, no putties were harmed in the reporting of this story. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters on November 19th, 2027. So this is going to be next year, guys.
That's so interesting. I mean, it's really Power Rangers, but since Disney has the rights for like distribution right now, I guess they could just kind of take the idea of it and move on. Yeah, sure.
And that's
but you know what's interesting is they also said like jumping between two timelines, the 1980s and present day, that kind of feels like Monarch from speaking of kaijus, right? It kind of reminds me of Monarch on Apple TV Plus.
What if this ends up being something that is a way to modernize Super Sentai and they still connect it to the Monsterverse?
Right?
And now we're getting like Super Sentai in the Monsterverse.
What if they just go like, let's not call it Power Rangers, let's just call it Sentai.
Yeah. And they're like they're like, hey, you know, we were planning on doing a Monsterverse movie of Ultraman, but like, you know, it's kind of like it's a little weird. It was kind of crazy to have this just giant guy get really big. So let's do Super Sentai.
Yeah, why not? Well, you know what's funny about going back to that dual timeline thing? I think they're gonna have his character as one of like the original 5 with whatever they said in the 80s, and then the present day version is him trying to probably like get the gang back together again for whatever reason.
So he's gonna be the Red Ranger,
I think so.
and then he's gonna Zord on everything.
Totally.
This is great. I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what they do. It's gonna be interesting to see what this ends up being.
Right? And then let's have a panel at Power Morphicon about it. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm ready to go and write it. Let's go. All right, let's move on to the next story here. The Odyssey. One hell of a car. Jahmez, do you have an Odyssey?
Are you suggesting that I own a minivan?
Yes.
I do have a minivan, but it's not an Odyssey.
Was it Town and Country?
How do you know my life?
Because you're a dad and you're
right.
gonna have dad cars. Deadpool just lost one of his biggest records, and naturally, Ryan Reynolds had a pretty great response to it. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has officially sailed past Deadpool and Wolverine at the worldwide box office, becoming the highest-grossing rated R movie of all time. Nolan's massive fantasy epic has now earned an estimated $1.34 billion globally, edging past the Marvel Studios blockbuster's $1.338 billion total. So just barely there. Barely.
But it's been out for a month.
It's true. After The Odyssey officially passed Deadpool and Wolverine, Reynolds jumped on social media to congratulate Nolan and everyone involved with their film, while throwing in a very Reynolds-style joke and mashup video. Congratulations to the entire cast and crew of The Odyssey for becoming the highest-grossing R-rated movie of all time. One hell of a car. The Odyssey is currently in theaters, and I do recommend everybody to go see it if you haven't already. It's a great movie.
I guess he posted that statement with the fight scene of him and Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine
Fighting in the Odyssey. That's right. That's good. That's actually really good.
Yeah. So it's just a montage of them fighting, and then it's that message on top.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. That's pretty cool though. Man, Odyssey's killing. It's like quietly killing it at the box office. Between that and Spider-Man, it's nuts.
I really like this movie. And I did go see Spider-Man as well, obviously, but I mean, like, The Odyssey, me being somebody who, I mean, everybody read the book because it was like required reading at most high schools, but yeah, I really got into The Odyssey mainly because my English teacher at the time made a parallel to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, yeah, this is the hero's journey, and compared Luke Skywalker to
Odysseus.
No, compared Luke Skywalker to his son.
Oh,
Patroclus?
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But yeah, she made that comparison, and I immediately was like, now I want to go and read this book. And now the movie came out, and I was just sitting there like guessing, like, oh, this is gonna be when he fights the witch, or this is gonna be when when we see the sirens, and like when they first get to the island. I was Telemachus. That's right, Telemachus. When they first get to the island that the Cyclops is on, when I see the moment that I saw one of the sheep run by, I was like, oh, okay, yep, this is the Cyclops.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really well done movie. They told a story in a way that made it compelling, made it fun to watch. It was just really good. I liked it.
I'm surprised. Like I'm glad it's doing really well, and I heard it's epic. I'm surprised that he fit it into one movie, and he didn't break it into like a 2-part Odyssey movie.
And he still told the story.
There's so much content that he could have tapped to do. 2.5 hour movies.
Yeah. Yeah. He still told the entire story, and did it in a way that was still compelling. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of filler in the Odyssey that you can take out of there. I also thought it was interesting that he did not include Achilles in this at all. You know, like that was a choice. That was a choice not to include Achilles. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. Yeah, but that's the thing is that, you know, again, there's a lot of backlash on different characters and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, this person's playing Achilles. No, they're not, because Achilles wasn't in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Deadpool. One hell of a car. Maybe I should get an Odyssey.
It's one hell of a car.
Maybe I'll get an Odyssey. Maybe you should get an Odyssey. How about that?
Maybe.
Trade in the truck.
Trade it? Yeah, no. Wouldn't trade in the truck. Wouldn't happen. All right. Let's move on to our last story here. Yep, right there. All right. Studio Ghibli's break room must have amazing snacks. Must be very delicious. At 85 years old, Hayao Miyazaki, the legendary filmmaker, continues to report to Studio Ghibli on a daily basis. And while that might sound like confirmation that another Miyazaki movie is taking shape, there's a wonderfully strange wrinkle to the story, because apparently nobody really knows what the hell he's doing. According to Studio Ghibli's new CEO, Kenichi Yoda, Miyazaki comes to the studio every day. As for what he's creating, once he gets there, Yoda offered an answer that feels perfectly suited to the famously private filmmaker. Only he knows exactly what the hell he's working on. After The Boy and the Heron won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, there was plenty of speculation that the film could serve as Miyazaki's farewell. Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki, is being considered as a possible creative successor, and Yoda has stepped into the CEO role. Yet the studio has no intention on transforming itself into an IP machine built around sequels and a constant stream of familiar properties. Speaking of Goro, he previously described that his father was developing as looking like an action-adventure type movie, not nostalgic and reminiscent of the old days. Miyazaki has given us Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, Castle in the Sky, The Boy and the Heron, and so many more, shaping generations of anime fans from years on in. Decades. Such a long time. The project isn't the focus. What matters is that Hayao Miyazaki is still creating.
I love this, that he's still so passionate about what he does. Like he's got all the accolades, you know?
Yeah.
He is like the godfather of anime, and he's still creating. Like it's just in him where he needs to create. I think that's so cool.
I love that he still puts in work and he's still creating films and just putting things out there. Like, I mean, it's nice to know that somebody is still out there that has had so much success but still loves their craft.
Yeah, completely. And his son works there too. Oh my gosh, come on.
And they're saying he might be the spiritual successor to his father. Let's hope he's just as creative as his dad.
Yeah, I think I was reading an article and he may be like chief of creative type thing. So maybe like a Filoni type thing where he's in charge of the overall creative storylines, but also maybe does his own projects here and there. So we'll see. But how cool is that? He's still making movies.
He's still drawing, still animating and everything like that. Yeah, like Say Wong said in the chat, and he does it all the old-fashioned way.
Talk about passion. That's amazing.
I know. It's so awesome to just like see that Hayao Miyazaki is still killing it so many years later.
It's on Max, right? Like there's like a whole Studio Ghibli section on Max.
Ghibli, they have a whole Studio Ghibli section on Max.
That's cool.
You can go and watch like all the old Miyazaki films, as well as his new ones. I mean, obviously he's got new ones that are still coming out.
Exactly. Awesome. All right.
Well, that is it from us tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about our schedule. So, of course, right now you're watching Distance Nerding 6:30 to 8:30, the show that we do every week, talking about news, rumors, all the fun things that we do. Thursday, Distance Nerding interviews. Now, this week we don't actually have a guest. So this week we will probably just hang out, me and Graveyard, talk some smack. We'll probably talk some X-Men 97 because we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that season finale and how we feel about what happened. Going to give you guys some time to go watch it before then if you haven't finished it yet, because it's a doozy. There's a lot that happens that we definitely need to break down and talk about. On top of that, maybe we'll talk some Lanterns. We'll talk about all the shows that are happening this week. We've got some time to kind of catch up and talk about things that are happening. Next week, we're going to be talking with David Hudson, who's the co-creator of Drunk Shakespeare.
Nice.
Yes. So what happens when you take shots and then go and recite Shakespeare? Hilarity ensues. It is great. I've actually, funny enough, they reached out to us, and I was actually really familiar with this already. So I was like, oh my God, like the creator of Drunk Shakespeare is reaching out. I'm very excited to talk about this with David Hudson. So again, this week we'll probably be doing a recap of all the different shows that have finished up. But next week we'll be talking with David Hudson, and that's on September 3rd. So we'll be having some fun there. Again, no game night this week, mainly because I'm gonna be hosting panels.
It's morphin' time.
It's morphin' time. Power Morphicon, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't planning on going to Power Morphicon, then you should. In Pasadena, California, at the Pasadena Convention Center. We will be there. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. We've got a whole bunch of panels that we have planned out, and it's going to be a good time, guys. So make your way down to Pasadena, California, and go to the Pasadena Convention Center and check out Power Morphicon.
Real quick, if you are a Power Rangers fan, if you love Power Rangers growing up, it's a con pretty much dedicated to Power Rangers, and it only happens like every other year. So this is your chance to go to check it out. I mean, Pasadena's for what? It's 6 hours from us. So even if you're from Sacramento or from the Bay, go check out Power Morphicon.
Right. The other cool thing is it's not just Power Rangers this year. There's also they've got actors for like some of the Japanese counterparts from Sentai and all that are going to be there. The Gokaiger Rangers are going to be there. VR Troopers is going to be there. The cast of VR Troopers, Big Bad Beetleborgs are going to be there. Like just a lot of the Saban stuff that was like repurposed. A lot of that stuff is going to be here. Is going to be at Power Morphicon this year. So guys, come and check it out. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, awesome. Really cool like activations or interactions like the breakfasts. How cool is that?
Right.
They do like breakfast meet and greets with the actors, so it's just another way to like do something different for the fans of Power Rangers. Oh, Stephen Price is going to be there.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's going to be so many people there. In the chat asking when is it? So that is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Pasadena.
Pasadena at the Pasadena Convention Center. So yeah, make your way there. We will see you guys there. We're going to be doing some work. Saturday, I'm going to be doing a all villains panel.
Oh, that's fun.
That's going to be fun. I'm going to be talking with a bunch of villains, including Paul Freeman. You guys are unfamiliar with Paul Freeman, and my friend Carla Perez, who I've worked with a lot now. But Paul Freeman's going to be there, who is Ivan Ooze from the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's going to be fun. We're gonna play a game. I'm gonna essentially the idea is I am going to put out a quote, right? I'm going to put out a quote that a villain said, and they have to guess which villain said it.
That's awesome. That'll be fun. I'm on the site right now, and I'm just looking. Sorry. They do some cool stuff. I mentioned the breakfast. There's also like a mixer that's happening on Saturday night. There's a VIP party on a Friday night. There's also trips that they do. So you can get as interactive as you want to, at the only cons I see do this is where they offer something more than just get an autograph. You can still do all that, meet all those cool people, see all the cool panels, but also there's all this other stuff that's happening around the con. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great time. And again, we hope to see all you guys there. Oh God! I hope Ken Kasogi doesn't rip into the Alien Rangers. I believe he's getting his own panel, which is going to be even crazier. So I mean, Ken Kasogi actually speaks fluent English, so that they're giving him his own panel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and yeah, Shinji Kasahara meeting Dan Southworth is going to be a fun interview. That's definitely one that we are all excited for. So finally get the East meets West.
Dan's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, because basically, Shinji Kasahara was the Japanese actor they both play the same character, essentially.
Right.
So it's like it's East meets West. It's they're finally for the first time meeting, the same characters, the two guys that play the same character are meeting each other at the con. So a lot of people are excited for that one.
That's awesome. Austin St. John. Deborah Estelle Phillips,
I've interviewed her. She's been on the show.
Her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you get to go see her in person this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. She was you interviewing her online, and she was hilarious.
She just reposted a video from that recently.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that was also fun. So yeah, guys, come and hang out with us at Power Morphicon. We will be there this weekend. With that being said, as always, guys, you can connect with us on all the social media places. If it exists, we are there at Distance Nerding. Also, you can email us at distancenerding@aol.com. If you send us an email, we will read it on air, regardless of what it says. So if you sit there and you say, I hate Yung Phil, he has the worst voice and he is annoying as all hell, I will read that on air. I don't care. So there we go. If you find a way to make Jahmez cry, yeah, there we go. We will read that on air. So with that,
plenty of ways to make me cry. Thank you.
Exactly. I'm waiting for Beller to send you something. I hate that you guys talk about Marvel. Can you stop talking about Marvel and can we talk about Masters of the Universe?
He does enjoy Masters of the Universe.
Yes, I mean, with good reason. Masters was good. So with that all being said, before we let everybody go, Bruce, buddy, time to go to bed.
Go to bed, Bruce.
Go to bed. You got school in the morning, buddy.
All right. Thanks, and keep nerding together.
That's
Deuces.
Right. Later.
Distance nerding.
This was a production of the Distance Nerding Podcast and Time for Tacos Media. For more content, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, all at Distance Nerding. If you enjoy our content, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, and keep nerding together.